Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to continue with the run cycle and the jump that we were mentioning. So let's go. So we have this very nice run cycle going on for our character. I think it's looking good. We could definitely polish it a little bit, but I think for the blocking stage, it's actually very good. So now what I want to do is I want to reference in, I'm going to go create reference, and I'm going to reference in the wall jump setup. Remember the one that we used for our little squirrel? So I'm going to reference this guy in. I'm gonna grab these two guys right here. I'm gonna control G to group them. I'm gonna go into modify and center the pivot point. And then I'm gonna move this guy. I'm gonna rotate this 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees, to create like the running ramp for this character. So if this character is starting right there, I'm gonna make it seem like he just starts right there. And what I want him to do is I want him to run here and then run a little bit more. Let's actually like give him a little bit more space. I'm gonna duplicate this group, go right here, just so that the distance is right, because he's gonna run, and I want to do one more, one more preparation here, and the objective is for him to land on this guy right here, jump and land from a running start. This guy we don't need, so I'm just gonna press H to hide it. And I'm actually gonna save this as I did on the last time. This is gonna be the run cycle jump start. And then we're gonna save this as just run cycle jump. So if you wanna see the finished scene, this is gonna be it, which is the one that I'm gonna be working on. So you might be wondering, okay, so I know that this guy needs to get all the way or as close as possible to the border before he prepares his jump and lands all the way over here. So how are we going to continue the run? Because right now, all of these elements that we have is just one run cycle that we did. And the answer is we already have the poses. We already have all the things that we need. The only thing we need to continue is making sure that the next pose, which in this case is this one right here, this is the next pose that we're going to have after this. We're just going to respect the exact same timing here and just move the whole thing to the other side. I'm going to try one thing. Let me see if it works. I'm going to grab all the curves here. I'm gonna shift and select everything, and I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna copy, and then I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna paste. So what I'm trying to do here, or actually I'm just gonna copy all of this, not the first one. So I'm gonna go copy, I'm gonna go here, 1, 2, and then here is where we're gonna paste. Or actually here, right? Yeah, so it's 1, 2, and then 3. It's 1, 2, and then of course we're gonna go back here to 3. So this third one, I need to make sure that it goes all the way here. Now, some of you might be freaked out by all of these elements, right? Like when we have the interpolations, especially like here, and the legs are going like pretty much everywhere. I'm gonna show you one quick trick that I like to use when I'm animating these sort of things. The reason why we see that is since we're focusing on the poses, but we already have a little bit of interpolation, it might get a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to grab everything here, and I'm going to change this to this option right here, which is called step tangents. Now, what step tangents will do is it will keep the same value until it sees a change. So see here, 18, 19 is the same, and then boom, the change is 20. So in my case, the tricky one was here, right? 15, 16, and then the change is 17 all the way back here. So that's gonna make it a little bit easier for me to see what I need to do, because I know that this 17 one should be all the way here on the front. So I'm just gonna move the whole pose all the way to the front like this. So we're gonna have 15, 16, 17. It's a little bit forward, so let's just keep moving it right about there, I would say. So again, 15, 16, 17. There we go. So now I know that the talon is finishing there. I'm going to use something other than the grease pencil. I'm just going to create a cube. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add right click, assign a new material. I'm going to assign a Lambert material and paint this like a very obvious color, like this green. And I'm just going to use this as a sort of guide for myself. So I know that that's where the talon is ending right there. So now I grab all of my movement curves again. Go to frame 18, which is all the way back here, which still keeps the same pose that we want, and just move it so that it matches the same place that we have. So 17, 18. You can see that we're slightly lower, so let's just push this guy forward. There we go. So 17, 18, 20. 20 is where he pushes everything up. So again, I'm expecting this to be right about there. So 18, 19, 20. And then 22 is the next contact. So again, I'm just going to go all the way over here where I would expect the next contact to be, which is about there. Yeah, that seems possible. And then again, frame 22 is fine. Frame 23, just move all the way over here. Let's go back to frame 22. Grab this guy. Yeah, I'm expecting, usually when we land slightly further down. So that's fine, actually. Like that position there, I think is fine. And then grab all of these guys again. Frame 25, and we're gonna move him all the way over here as well. Oh. So frame 23, 25, still a little bit low. 23, 25, 26, 27, which is the next like push, 27, and 28, which is the final stride, which I would definitely say would be our final what's the word? Our final preparation before the jump, right? So he goes there. He is gonna land there. And how is he gonna land? He's definitely gonna land in the same way as a down position, right? So we can just grab this guy right here and go here and just move this all the way to the border. Now we're gonna start something that's not a cycle, right? We're not doing a cycle anymore. We're gonna transition into a normal like keyframe animation. So we go from here, we land on the cycle here. Actually, I'm gonna land right there on the border, and I'm just gonna push this guy like a little bit further back, so that when he lands right there. And now we can actually go back here, grab all of the curves again. I'm gonna say curves, post infinity linear. We don't want any cycles, and I'm just gonna spline them again, like auto spline. And if we take a look at the animation now, we should see this. Cool, right? Now this guy still has the post infinity cycle, so I'm gonna go curves, post infinity, get rid of the cycle. All right. Curves, post infinity, no cycle, and let's just smooth this out. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. It's weird that there's no curves, post infinity, sorry, linear. There we go. So now it's a matter of taking a look at how the animation looks. And let's see if he actually looks like he's moving forward, which I think he does. Now here, something went wrong on the final pose. So I'm just gonna like make him land here. And since this is the final down position, now we can think about like really pushing the pose, because he's gonna jump with just 1 foot. That's gonna be quite an impressive jump, but that's fine. And now we can think about the next pose. So we already know what the next pose is if this is the squash, which again, we can just like push this guy into a squash. So we go squash. Careful here. So remember what we talked about? Here's where I would probably just add like an extra frame just to make sure that the feet lands as nicely as possible there. So the next one is a stretch, of course. So I'm just gonna push this whole thing forward like this. Stretch this guy, and I would definitely use the foot or the toe roll to make it seem like he's using his force here, his body, to push the whole thing forward. He's pretty much launching himself, right? So like this. Here I might even add like a little bit of a toe roll there, just to again give it a little bit more life. Whoa, what happened here? Okay, it's just that on that frame. Okay, so there's a couple of issues here with the knee. Here, let's just bring the knee in. This guy as well. Let's keep it aligned. Okay, so there's another issue here with the knee. Just push it forward. There we go. This guy we don't need anymore, so we can just delete. And we get go. Now you can see there's a couple of parts here where the movement looks a little bit too intense. Like for instance, from here to here. The jump seems to be a little bit too far, but that's fine. We're pretty much back into square one. Even though we had finished our run cycle, we're pretty much back into square one in regards to the animation, because we're doing just a nice blocking here. So we have the squash, we have the stretch. Wait, what happened to my squash? There. Do I have auto keyframe set on? Yeah, I do. Let's really push the squash here, even if we need to like correct some of these elements. Because it's just gonna be one frame. It's just gonna be one frame that we're gonna have. So I wanna make sure that this is as nice as possible. So there. And now we're gonna jump. So I'm just gonna grab the whole character here, move him to the jump right about here. I would expect the left leg to be the one moving forward, including the knee here. I would expect the total to be gone. And then the right leg, remember we usually keep the crystals and everything close together. The right leg would be like dragging, right, a little bit. And I could add a little bit of a toe roll to the other side, like this. So he's barely gonna make it, but I think it's fine. So we get this jump, and then we keep moving. So I can also grab like the movements here, just to keep it simple. Let's go to my right view again. This guy's gonna jump. He's gonna keep moving his right foot forward, and then his left foot is the one that's gonna be falling. Remember how when we fall, we tend to launch certain parts of our character. Again, squash and stretch. So something like this. We don't have a face or arms, but if he had, I would expect him to do. There we go. And then on the landing, here's where the landing is gonna be fun. On the landing, I always encourage my students to land their characters in such a way that you have a very nice, clean, like contact landing position first, where you keep like the stretch like this. Let's get rid of the toe roll there. We could even push this guy forward. Now we can start like doing this sort of thing. See, like very nice stretch, very clean. Because after this, let's say a couple of frames, he's gonna keep moving forward. His foot is gonna land on the actual floor. So I'm gonna land. So it should be a little bit higher. Knee on the front, of course. Like here, knee on the front. And the right foot's gonna start preparing itself for the land, but it's not gonna land yet. We're gonna land a little bit on a different frame. So I'm gonna wait like 2 frames here, and now we land with the other feet, with the right foot, and we continue moving forward, right? Because here's where the actual like super big squash is gonna happen, where all of the force and the weight of the character is actually gonna be falling down into the ground, like this, kind of like a superhero landing here. Probably gonna grab this guy and move it out. Same thing with the knee, just to make sure that there's not that much overlap. There we go. And finally, like a couple of frames after that, we could start a walk cycle, of course, but I'm gonna keep it simple. I know that the title has the walk, but I'm just gonna keep it simple. Let's just go back to like a traditional pose like this. It's gonna be a little bit out of center, but that's fine. He's like, whew, that was a big jump, right? There we go. So now, if we take a look at the whole thing, we got this. Looking good, right? So this is just the blocking, guys. This is just the beginning of our animation. Now it's time that we start working on the polishing. We're gonna make sure that all the timing, everything looks nice, everything looks fluid, and we're gonna get a very nice jump out of this. Make sure to move all the way up to this point. Again, if you want, you can use the initial run cycle to help yourself a little bit, but I strongly recommend you try to do it on your own. It's gonna, of course, give you more practice, and it's gonna make it a lot easier to learn all of the things, even if you struggle at first. The source files and all of the save files that are here on the project are here for you, to help you. But again, they're not gonna do the work for you. You're gonna have to put in the time and the effort. So start working, get on to this point where we have this very nice jump, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye bye.